Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure today to introduce yet another webinar. Just before we start, I would kindly invite you to scan the respective QR code below or join us at menti.com with code 36420434 to ask your respective questions. We're extremely delighted today to announce that we have had over 700 registrations to this event, so please do not hesitate to scan the respective code below or join us at menti.com with the respective code 36420434 in order to ask your questions. We will have a dedicated area and time set for you at the end of the webinar to ask all your questions and provide the respective answers. Thank you very much again for those that have just joined. It's a pleasure to have yet another webinar on IRIS certification. Just before we start, we will start in 2 minutes as per plan. I would kindly invite you to scan the QR code below or join us at menti.com and enter the following code 36420434 to ask your questions. Also interesting to note is throughout the presentation, on most of the slides, on the top right-hand side and on the bottom right-hand side, you will have a QR code and the menti.com code so you can ask your questions throughout the presentation. We will have a dedicated time slot at the end of the presentation to answer all your respective questions. Let's just wait a few minutes for all the people that are registered to enter the live event. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Today is a very special day because we are all here to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the IRIS certification revision 4 system. Today we have a handful of top-level speakers to talk about this event. In today's agenda, the top-level speakers will give a welcome introduction to the respective event. We will go into the benefits of IRIS certification, explain why IRIS certification and quality is important for both the site that is getting audited and the respective supply chain. We will then go into the key updates on IRIS certification revision 4. Interestingly, we're going to have a deep dive into the results of the audits, and we're going to provide you a statistical overview of the industry over the last year. And then we're going to end with an auditor and a certification body providing their respective experience on IRIS certification revision 4 over the last year. As promised a few minutes ago, we will also have a dedicated question and answer session that will aim to answer all your questions that you raise. Just as a reminder, on the top right and on the bottom right hand slide, on normally almost all of the slides, you will be able to join Menti by joining the website menti.com and using the code 36420434 or by scanning the QR code on the bottom right hand side to ask your respective questions. Now it's a great pleasure of mine to announce the next speaker, the first speaker of today's event, UNIFE Director General Enno Wiebe. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Anish, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and happy birthday, IRIS Certification Revision 4. I welcome you to this very special anniversary webinar, and I'm very, very grateful that there is such a huge interest actually in this topic. I'm very grateful that you do all join us today. It is a gorgeous, bright birthday celebration day in Brussels today. But there are some storm clouds looming above us here as well at the same time. It is the geopolitical situation that challenges us in these days, actually in these weeks, in particular the tariffs imposed by the US administration. And in this very moment, two responses are required. The first one is calm. Despite market responses and the realities of business, we are an industry in a decent position. The second is reflection on what are the next steps to protect this position and ensure we can continue growth in a less certain geopolitical moment. The European Commission is currently working on responses for a strong and competitive European industry, and we are very supportive of these efforts made by the institutions, and we are very, very happy they do so. There are a couple of initiatives at the moment in the pipeline of the institutions. The first one is the multi-annual financial framework, ensuring sufficient financing and funding for our future. The second one is public procurement. That is of utmost importance for our industry, with now a European preference being expressed for European products. Thirdly, the Commission is really seeking for new partnerships in the framework of Global Gateway, paving the way for a successful European industry beyond our borders. And at the current stage, Latin America and the Caribbean is in our joint focus. Regrettably, at this stage, we have to focus as well on military mobility. It is very sad that we have to talk about this again and that we are intensively have to discuss about this. It is important at the moment for us, but we do hope actually that we will go back to normal at a certain point. And this is why we will drive this discussion actually by exploiting synergies with civilian use at the same time. Last but not least, I want to mention, of course, ERTMS, and that is something where we link civilian use and military use for our future network. We are accelerating the rollout of ERTMS, so that means our European Rail Traffic Management System, together with its radio-based communication FRMCS, as well as the digital automatic coupling. As I said, we are well positioned as the rail supply industry. According to our UNIFE World Rail Market study, the rail supply industry has experienced robust growth in recent years and has a positive outlook until the end of this decade. The global market is expected to grow by 3% annually in real terms. But ladies and gentlemen, that is not the moment to rest now and to rest on these figures. On the contrary, we must roll up our sleeves. As a railway industry, or as the railway industry, we are the world market leader, and believe me, we want to remain so. We have two big advantages. The first one is innovation. We are a very innovative industry, and that makes us a world rail market leader. We're currently working on a successor of Europe's rail joint undertaking to further boost innovation. The second one, I think this is something where we Europeans can be very proud of, is quality. And this is what the IRIS certification stands for. IRIS promotes rail organizations' performance to enhance product quality. And this is, from my point of view, exactly what matters in these difficult times. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't let the festive mood be spoiled now. Let's roll up the sleeves. Let's work together on the competitiveness of the European rail supply industry, being a world rail market leader. Thank you very much again for joining. Happy birthday again. And now I hand over to Stefan Siegler.
Yeah, thank you so much, Enno, for the introduction and already handing over to the topic of quality. My name is Stefan Siegler. I'm heading Business Excellence Quality within Siemens Mobility on the one hand side and being the IRIS steering committee chairman since a long time. And yeah, talking today about the anniversary, I would a little bit go back in time and start also with the birth of IRIS certification. To be able to celebrate the birthday even better in the context. And you mentioned already our achievement, or our target as rail industry as being the quality leader, which was not all the time the case. So this was the reason for birth for IRIS certification 20 years ago, when operators were voicing concerns about poor quality in the railway industry. And UNIFE took action by publication of IRIS revision 0 in 2006. And at that time, it was a complete different scheme as of today. It was, the certification was only possible for manufacturing sites for rolling stock, and only the enabler assessment took place. So a very basic system compared to what we have today. In subsequent revisions, the scope of certification expanded to include signaling infrastructure, as well as certification activities for maintenance and for other scopes of products. And the enablers continued to evolve, and an important step was 2017, when IRIS became first an ISO TS. So based on a ISO standard, and the full ISO later with revision 3. And so adding as well, and then we come to the today's situation with revision 4, the performance assessment. And I think this is really the unique selling point and the strength of IRIS where we are today. So with revision 4 published in 2023, the revision of the rules, expanding the certification activities to cover 5 important key process, introducing the new business categories. IRIS certification has now evolved from a site certification for rolling stock to a comprehensive RQMS certification system for the entire rail industry, including, and I like to reiterate this again, the performance assessment, which is the only scheme in the market having a performance assessment on the performance with regards to quality of the certified organization. Why is this so important? So having a quality management system in place, which is simply fitting to the standard, does not say anything about quality performance. Yeah, and all the other schemes in the market and other industries are focusing only on the existence of a system without highlighting the level of performance. When I have a look to our suppliers in the supply chain and asking myself what is important for me as a customer, is important the quality performance, and any indication if the certified organization is reaching a certain level of performance. What else do I have to do as a customer to achieve a sustainable and stable supply chain? And what effort I have to pay on top to the pure procurement cost with regards to total cost of ownership. This is the important question, and this is what IRIS is now, since revision 3, able to answer this question. So very big benefit of IRIS certification, and with the revision 4 having a comprehensive and streamlined system in place. If we have a look step by step through the different items, next slide, please. Having the customer satisfaction on the one hand side, as said, we need a premium certificate to highlight both process and product quality. So to ensure that product quality is not just hazardously achieved, but based on stable processes. This is given also by the enablers and the performance assessment. With very transparent results given in the audit reports. For oneself in the organization, it helps also to achieve positive financial results by process performance management, by auditing internally with the internal audits, not only with regards to compliance towards the ISO standards, but also for the performance of the processes, and brings the quality department much closer to the higher management by reporting about where are areas of poor performance, where are areas of strong performance, what can be improved, and so on. Often IRIS certification is today also the entry into the railway industry. So by supplier onboarding processes, easing the way as mark of credibility, facilitating easier entry and integration into the market. And like this, customers are often requesting IRIS certification for entering the supply chain. And also by improving quality and certifying the supply chain, IRIS certification helps. We have a common language, we have common standards, suppliers in the supply chain meet the high standards, and the overall quality of products and services in the railway industry can be leveraged to the according necessary level. And having the look both, if we detail this with advantages to the own organization. So, and here I would like to distinguish a little bit in between the IRIS certification as such and applying the IRIS methodology. So what is delivered together with the whole package of the IRIS system is also a certain methodology, how to do performance management of processes, how to do the evaluation of process performance by internal audits, how to measure customer perception, how to demonstrate quality performance, how to make it transparent on what level my organization is able to deliver quality performance, which processes are adding value to quality performance, which might add less value due to their level of maturity, to reduce the system audits, to manage better the requirements for tenders or for large tenders, to have a continuous improvement methodology based on clear KPIs. All this helps me to make my organization better, even without being certified. And like this, bringing the own organization based on the application, but the thorough application of the IRIS methodology on a higher level. And this is a kind of standard which was developed by a group of leading companies out of the areas of system integrators, component manufacturers, and also the support of operators in the International Rail Quality Board to achieve this set of measures, which helps us to design not only a better organization for one's own, but also a more stable supply chain. And if we have a look on the next, that's the next slide, for the supply chain, this is helping a lot. So by, as said, having a common language and a common standard about quality management system, applying it in the supply chain, speaking the same language, addressing potential problems based on transparent level of quality performance, based on clear KPIs which are given by the standard, supply chain improvements are much better possible than before. Reducing also the effort in both supplier audit where necessary, focusing only on processes which are low performing, not conducting overall system audits which might encompass the easy to audit areas again and again and again, which was seen in the past, and at the end ending up in reliable and safe products based on the application of the standard. And if we imagine if we need to help suppliers in achieving the necessary quality as specified, and we need to do recovery actions, we are able to start on a much higher level based on a given methodology, which is easing also recovery activities in the supply chain, and obvious as well the simplified supplier evaluation for the long-term rating. And all this is given by the so-called quality performance levels. So you might know that we have now with IRIS Revision 4 in total 4 levels. So the level IRIS certified, and above IRIS certified 3 quality performance levels, which indicate a specific higher level of quality performance. First, the bronze level indicating being capable of delivering defined quality level. The silver level granting a very high transparency to what extent and why the quality performance level is achieved. And the gold, of course, the top performers who are able to deliver constantly top performance quality, given also not only on the enablers and taking into account as well the process performance and the process performance management like this on the level silver and transparent, obviously, is the entry card for being able for showing transparency by having established the process performance management with clear KPIs. And last but not least, the customer perception giving beside the audit, or as part of the audit, but it's a different input channel, giving a customer feedback, a direct customer feedback for the customer perception, and proving that not only the system is implemented and meeting the requirements, but is as well showing that is in a high performance state, and the organization is able to deliver proven by customer statement on a high level quality of products and services. And this is what helps us a lot, improving the supply chain. And when thinking over 20 years back, when IRIS was invented, this was exactly the aim which we wanted to achieve. Improving the quality level, delivering a methodology which helps to collaborate on further improvement on supply chains in the rail industry. And I think what IRIS Revision 4 is now able to deliver makes this very, very valuable and delivers, as described, the necessary benefits to the supply chain. And in some areas, it's even visible and possible to prove that IRIS certified suppliers on a silver and gold level deliver better quality than others. And this is an achievement which makes me personally also very happy to see that we can now harvest the fruits of the tree which we were planting over 20 years ago. Thank you so much. And with this, I'm handing over to Rachid.
Thank you, Stefan. Thanks for all the information. And once again, happy birthday for this Revision 4, which has been running now for 1 year. I'm also very proud, actually, to celebrate with you. As you might know, I joined the organization a few months ago, but of course, I'm pretty satisfied to join the IMC and all the IRIS TIRCO members and all partners working on the IRIS with us for the past few months and for 1 year now regarding the Revision 4. So once again, thank you for all of you joining and keeping the scheme also up to date, efficient, and especially with this new revision. So as just explained, the Revision 4 now is in place for 1 year now. So it has been quite a long journey. So I think you already participated to all of our webinars, communication, but of course, sometimes a bit more closely when you had some questions, topics to escalate to the IMC or sometimes to your certification body. So I think the different step and achievement over the past 12 months were quite impressive. As you know, this has been starting in April, and following that, the IRIS Management Center has delivered quite a lot of trainings and made a lot of communication to make sure that the rules and the evolution of the revision 4 to compare with revision 3 is well understood to avoid any issues, misunderstanding during your respective audits. So it was pretty important for us also to provide this kind of support to the whole railway industry, also working closely with your certification body, because at the end of the day, you as a company, auditors, all the environment involved with IRIS, you are the one using this standard on a daily basis, and also for your audit, which is pretty important for your organization. So we are very happy to support you over the past 12 months, responding to your questions and technical queries. And for us, it was very important that everything is clearly understood. Sometimes it's a bit of challenges, especially regarding few items that have been introduced for the revision 4. But we hope that now everything is well understood. And it's true that we are receiving less and less technical questions, or at least a bit less complex than at the beginning of the revision 4. A very important milestone also over the past 12 months, so it was around September. As you know, the revision 4 was implemented only few months before this date, and actually some changes and updates have been also discussed and improved to make sure that we are also, I would say, reflecting the reality on the railway market. So we have worked very closely with our very close partner, the IRQB, the International Railway Quality Board. You can also visit the website of the IRQB to get more information. But we are working very closely with this committee, who is also covering a lot of, I would say, activities from the railway, from the OEM point of view, operators and system integrator. The whole industry, and especially this committee, is promoting IRIS, and it was pretty important to understand and to update sometimes some aspect of the revision 4. So some changes or important updates have been done and approved during this month of September. We also put a lot of, I would say, energy to explain also the few updates that has been given and also approved by the IRQB. It was really important for us to align, especially on some topics like the QPL that I will just explain in the next few slides. As you might know, I think it's also important to note, and you probably faced also some issue over the past 1 year, especially regarding some key deliverable like the audit scoring, audit reports. We had a bit of issue. I think we have to admit that, but really with a lot of, I would say, work and dedication, we fixed now all the different issues regarding to the IT environment that has, we know, created quite a lot sometimes of frustration and issues. Everything now has been fixed, so that's a very important message to give you today. And we are continuously improving the IT activities because, as you know, it's a very important, I would say, aspect of the IRIS topics. Another very important item, which is a bit subsequent to the, I would say, IT issues update that have been approved along the year, is regarding the QPL, you know, the quality performance level that Stefan explained a few minutes ago. It's true that it has raised quite a lot of questions and sometimes a bit of disappointment. I will come back to that later on. And we heard about the feedback. So I think this is pretty important. We are obviously honing the scheme and the IRIS system, but it's important for us also to adapt and to be agile on some specific topic and aspect that the whole railway market is bringing back to us. So on the QPL, the quality performance level, I will come back to that later. But we have made also significant improvement and also prepared a very clear specification that will be released very soon to your certification body, explaining in details all the steps and all the criteria to reach this the different level of quality performance. Another very important step that happened a few months ago now, in January, on the 15th of January 2025, is also the release of the Performance Assessment Edition 2. So as I just mentioned, few updates have been, I would say, implemented. And we wanted to ensure that there is no, I would say, doubts or I would say interpretation regarding few messages that might be given in the past. So I have ensured with the rest of my team that all the I would say changes and explanation were given in the new edition of the revision 4. We probably intend to have a kind of a yearly improvement of the performance assessment. Again, the main purpose will be to, I would say, make a clear reflect of the reality of the railway stakeholders and ensure that our performance assessment is up to date and also reflecting the railway performance. Another important item that we know the railway stakeholders are also looking for is regarding the guidelines, especially the IRQB guideline that you will find in the website of the IRQB, for which also IRIS and the IMC team is very well involved. So a lot of guidelines are also very well welcome and appreciated by the railway industry. As you might know, we have few topics, few guidelines regarding maintenance, KPIs, SME, etc. So that's something that has been resumed very actively by the IRQB, and the IRIS team is also very well involved to make sure, again, that we are giving, I would say, guidance to the whole industry regarding essential topics. Very recently, 1 month ago almost now, we have also launched a survey. So you might have received already the survey and a couple of reminders probably. But this is pretty important for the IMC and for me especially, because I think that's a kind of good practice that you are also, I would say, doing with your respective customers or suppliers sometimes. And it's also very important for us to also understand what is the different feedback. So you have received this survey 1 month ago. I really strongly invite you to answer to this survey. It's pretty important for you because based on the, I would say, data and feedback, we will be able to take it into consideration and improve the scheme and some items, and we'll try obviously to make some clear analysis and deep dive on the data. So please, again, don't forget to answer. It's really crucial for us to improve further the scheme. Again, I think you understood the whole message here from the past 12 months. We are not going to stop there. We are also looking at the future. IRIS is you know, based on the I would say quality and performance cycle. So we want also to improve the scheme. So we are also looking at the future. We are currently, for your information, updating the IRIS business plan, who is driving all our activities, let's say philosophy in general for the next few years. And this is pretty important. Some key aspects will be also taken into consideration, and this will probably, I would say, provide more specificities or clarification in the future of a potential other revision in the near future. All right, so I hope that this 12 months was I would say pretty smooth for you regarding IRIS. Maybe I will just also focus now on the next topic, which is about the QPL that has been involved. Again, I'm coming back to this topic because we have received quite a lot of comments, questions, sometimes complaints. We have to admit it's also part of the games sometimes. And we really took it into consideration, and this is very important for us. Again, you know that we have the few different quality performance levels: certified, bronze, silver, and gold. I have also to admit personally that the QPL is very well appreciated, and we have a strong adherence by the company on the quality performance level. They really believe in the QPL to make sometime a difference in terms of performance for their own side, but also, of course, to make their companies more competitive somehow. So this is why also we have quite a lot of, I would say, involvement from the company, which I completely support and understand it. I mentioned that unfortunately some of the internal issues and mainly IT issues that has been fixed now I've created a bit of a disturbance on the QPL, especially in terms of QPL released. We have a rule internally to release the QPL within 1 month after the end of the audit. But unfortunately, because of some issues, this has been postponed. But fortunately, with the strong efforts from all of us and also a bit with your patience, and thank you again for that, we have now closed all the QPL pending from 2024. And we are now back on track with a normal mode to release all the QPL on time. We hope also, I mentioned it earlier, that the specification that is going to be released this month to the certification body will bring more clarity, more explanation. That's pretty important. I will also invite you to liaise with your respective certification body to understand, make sure that you are also getting all the information about the QPL and clarification. That's pretty important. I think this will avoid maybe some further discussion that will be maybe not necessary. So don't hesitate. Just about the specification, to avoid maybe any confusion, this is not only something coming from the IRIS Management Center. We put also quite a lot of energy to ensure that this document was also endorsed, approved, agreed by a dedicated working group that has been created by the IRQB, making sure that the QPL information is crystal clear now and ready for application. So again, congratulations to the almost 1,000 QPL company who has received the QPL certification. So we hope that the 2025 will bring more and more QPL certificates. So good luck for you. Another important activities that we have started end of the year. So it's related to the potential synergy with the ECM. So for the ones who are maybe not aware, the entity in charge of maintenance, it's an important regulation in Europe, which is really focused on maintenance, safety and reliability of railway products. So here we have found that there is potential synergy and interesting common points regarding the IRIS standard and ECM regulation. A very important point that has been introduced on the revision 4 is regarding the new business categories. As you might know, we have now different business category, and one that are clearly and very well represented is the maintenance business category. So as of 2 weeks ago, we have more than 600 companies doing maintenance and using IRIS with an IRIS certificate. So this is pretty important because probably that those companies will be interested by the current synergy that we are trying to put on paper between the two standards. So that will be that is the current purpose. So what has been achieved, or let's say what are the main objectives? First, we know that the two standards are also having a strong focus on quality management, also on the ECM, even though it's clearly focused on maintenance, reliability, and safety, but also the whole quality management system that the company needs to implement is also very common between the two standards. Very important point, continuous improvement. If you are also familiar with the ECM, this is also something very crucial for the ECM. And of course, also for IRIS, because we are always trying to improve our system, the product also. And the continuous improvement is really a key aspect of the two standards. So again, this was also motivating UNIFE and IMC to work closely with the European Railway Agency managing the ECM regulation. We talked about that, customer focus for both of the scheme. It's definitely important, so that we are putting the customer really in the middle of the discussion and the expectation. So for both standard, it's an important item. And of course, in terms of stakeholder collaboration, having and speaking the same language between the IRIS and ECM is really easing the life, I would say, of the organization. So those 4 components really push us to work on this specific synergy. So to achieve that, what we did is to involve experts not only of ECM or IRIS, but who has the understanding of the two schemes. So this has been done 1 month ago now with different people and companies that have been represented from a system integrator, an OEM, and also operators, because that's also a key element for the ECM. So what has been done is clearly to do a kind of correspondence work between the two standards, the ECM regulation and the IRIS standard. And with our, I would say not surprise, but confirmation, for instance, the function 1, 3, and 4 are very, I would say, close in terms of level of requirement. So this is a very good, I would say, conclusion or outcome that we have stated with the working group. So based on that, and this kind of high-level correspondence, we are trying to think about how this kind of initial conclusion can be practical and used by the railway industry for potentially an IRIS certified company who want to use the IRIS as a fast lane to the ECM certification. So this is what we are currently doing with the great support of ERA. And we should come to a kind of conclusion, written conclusion and recommendation by end of June. And this will be hopefully available through the new revision of the ECM guideline, which is also supposed to be released by end of Q2. So let's stay tuned about that. We hope that this kind of synergy and work will really help the company heading to IRIS and ECM performance level. So last but not least, I talk about the survey. Once again, it's pretty important to give your feedback. For us, it was really important to focus on some topics. First, we wanted to know how you, I would say, receive the performance assessment that have been also updated and the new revision. So this is important for us to know how it's welcome. An important point also, you are quite well in touch with the IT environment created by IMC during your audit exercise. So this is also very important to know how you also appreciated this tool and the whole environment. The QPL, obviously, we want to know how this is also helping your organization and the market recognition, the perception from your customer. This is really key for us to understand the importance and also to emphasize a bit more the importance of this kind of process. In terms of communication, a few simple questions. How do you like the IRIS Management Center to communicate with you? The feedback about the webinars that we are proposing, and any kind of suggestion for improvement. Again, this is very key for us because we are also part of the railway, and this is also a key item for us to improve further. So once again, don't forget to reply. We have already more than 200 companies that has participated. So feel free to continue and give your feedback before, let's say, end of May. That's more or less the kind of target that we have. Very quick update about the working group. As I mentioned, this is pretty important regarding the guideline that it's really helping the different people who are involved on the specific topics. So just to let you know, we have started and resumed the work on this guideline. So for almost all of them, we are, I would say, having the target to get the update of those guidelines by end of Q2 around that. So we have a few topics, as you can see. For the moment, we have 6 working groups, and some of the document hopefully will continue to help. So the IRIS Management Center is also quite involved on that, together with the whole industries from operator, OEM, and system integrator. So once again, stay tuned about that, and we will also make some specific communication together with the IRQB regarding the release of those documents. All right, and the last one, you probably have seen it through the LinkedIn IRIS certification page. We have recently, let's say, put on a white paper all the benefits that are been discussed already for several times during webinars and also today. But we put everything here on a clear white paper. So this is pretty important for us because we want also to attract more new companies and sometimes also to reinforce the collaboration that we have with some IRIS already certified company. And here we really put black and white what are the interests that have been discussed already a few minutes ago. As you can see here, this is available on the IRIS portal. This is available on the IRIS certification LinkedIn page. you will see that this document and the whole IRIS, as you understood it, has been endorsed by all the main railway stakeholders: Alstom, Siemens, CAF, Wabtec, KB, just to give a few names, but also by the operators. And this is really a kind of important, I would say, aspect of IRIS that we are also very well recognized across the whole railway industry, including the operator, who are finally also driving the railway business. So as you can see, we did quite a lot of achievement. The whole IRIS Management Center worked quite hard this year. The work is not yet done and finished. It's not. You know that it's a continuous improvement cycle, as I mentioned earlier. So we'll try to improve again and again the whole IRIS, obviously with your support. So thank you very much again for this collaboration over the past 12 months. Let's continue, and I will hand over to Anish to give you a bit more of insight from a statistical point of view. Thank you, Anish.
Thank you very much, Rachid, and also for the previous speakers. Just before I start, I will just remind everyone, because I'm seeing that there are not so many questions at the moment. So if you have any questions for all of these experts standing in front of you, please don't hesitate to scan the QR code on the bottom right-hand side, or go on menti.com and use code 36420434 to ask any questions you may have on these topics or any topics that you may have. So today I'm going to speak on a very interesting topic. I'm going to show you all the interesting information that we have seen throughout all the audits in Revision 4 over the last 365 days. I will start with going into a global overview of the Revision 4 audits. Go back, please. Then I will go into the enabler scoring, followed by the customer perception, and ending with the performance evaluation. So I'm going to go into the in-depth analysis of the scorings over the whole industry on all three IRIS certification scoring pillars. So on the next slide, you're going to see, as promised, an audit overview over the last 365 days. As just said, this is quite a unique opportunity for you now to see the deep dive insights into the industry results over the last year. So just before we go into the details, I would like to tell you that we've had a steady growth of new audits in Revision 4. 11% of the Revision 4 audits comply towards a certification audit. Transition audits played a vital role over the last year, as you may understand. Both the recertification and surveillance audits were done in a transition method to transition from the Revision 3 standard to the Revision 4 system. What's also interesting here is to note that 55% of the Revision 4 audits were recertification audits, whereas 34% were surveillance transition audits. So one thing, if I have to say one thing to the industry on this slide, is that we shall focus on the planning of the audits in the IRIS portal. So if you are a certification body listening to this, or if you are an auditor, please ensure that with your customers, with the organizations that are also listening today, you focus on a consistent and clear planning of the appointments in the IRIS portal diary. This is very important. On the next slide, you're going to see the global audit scoring overview. So here I'm looking at the enablers, the customer perception, and the performance evaluation. I'm looking at the three pillars of the IRIS certification Revision 4 scoring versus the 5 main continents that IRIS certification has audits in. So just to remind you, the enablers are scored mostly by the 342 assessment sheet items with the respective maturity levels from insufficient all the way to optimized. Okay, you already know these maturity levels. The customer perception is scored with the assessment of the 10 customer perception performance items, as well as the 3 customer perception KPIs. And last but not least, the third pillar, the performance evaluation, has the assessment of the 5 key processes, if applicable, and the assessment is done on the application and the performance of the respective process. So here you can see those 3 pillars versus the achievement and the respective continent. On the next slide, you will see the enabler scoring. So we're still on the enabler scoring, but now you will see the historical growth per country versus an average of all the countries. So for this slide, just for your information, we have decided to keep the historical 5 countries that we have done this baseline for since 2006, actually. Of course, the next time we present such information, we're going to enable further countries to make a even more in-depth analysis. But what you can see here is that globally, the average enabler scoring has increased from 2012 all the way until 2025. On the right-hand side of this slide, you will see the following statement that the enabler score has increased to 70% in average in 2025 compared to revision 3 previously. And here you also see a global world, let's say, overview of the revision 4 enablers. So you see the Americas, African countries, European countries, audits for which that are in Asia, and also Australia and Oceania. So one thing you have to take into consideration when looking at these average scores are the respective audit distributions. And here you can see this information in the asterisk also below the illustration. On the next slide, we're going to stick on the enabler topic, and now we're going to go a bit more detailed. Now we're going to take an insight of the clauses in the enablers. So you know we have the respective clauses from clause 4, context of the organization, all the way to improvement clause 10. What we've done here to make this analysis is taken the achieved points of all of the assessments done over the last year, and we baselined it on the maximum achievable points. And here you see the achievement in percentage. So when analyzing this, we can see that the top 3 achieved clauses in terms of scoring are 10, 6, and 7. So the first being 84%, which is improvement, clause 10, clause 6, planning, followed by clause 7, support. So here you can see the overall enabler score achievement per clause. Now, when comparing this to revision 3, we have seen improvements in clauses 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 7, 9, and 10. These respective clauses have seen improvements compared to revision 3. However, we've seen a few weaknesses in clauses 4 and 8. So in the respective columns, context of the organization, and in the clause 8, operations, we've seen slight weaknessing of the total enabler achievement compared to revision 3. So of course, at a further stage this year, we will be delighted to give you further information on these improvements and weakening of the respective clauses. On the next slide, you will see we're staying on the enablers, and we're now going to see where are the issues in the industry. So now we've done a deep dive in the respective corrective actions. So let's start in the first diagram on the top left-hand side. You see the amount of cars per clause. We see the majority of cars in clause 8, 9, and 7. The majority of the cars are in clause 8, where we see 70% of the cars over the last years in clause 8 named operations, followed by performance evaluation clause 9 and 8% in clause 7 support. Moving forward, when we look on the right hand side of the slide in diagram number 2, we see the amount of cars per subclause. So when we dive deeper, we see that the top 3 subclauses with the most amount of cars are all in clause 8, obviously, and they are in the respective subclauses 8.1, 8.5, and 8.4. So this is 8.1 operational planning and control, 8.5 production and service provision, and 8.4 EPPPS. So when we go even further and take a look at the top amount of cars in the item level, we see that most cars are in 8.5.1.3-3 special processes, followed by the second highest amount of cars in configuration management, followed by controlled conditions. So obviously, of course, today I'm giving you just this information as a quick highlight, but obviously, as you know, we're going to show this in the YouTube account that we have, and there you will have the opportunity as well to look at this information in a more detailed manner. So let's move forward, please, and go to the customer perception. So this is, as I said, the second pillar of the IRIS certification scoring scheme. And here, when looking at the 3 PIs, the customer on-time delivery, the non-conformities raised by the customer, and the customer satisfaction, you see here the overview based on the respective scorings from the letters A all the way to E. So just to remind you, A will give you 20 points, being assessed with the PI evaluation matrix with B will give you 15 points, C 10 points, D 5 points, and E 0 points. And what's interesting to see here, when we look at the last year in revision 4, we see that for both non-conformities raised by the customer and customer satisfaction, we see that there are more evaluations with the letter B, with 15 points, and we see for the customer on-time delivery, we see most of the, or a vast majority of the respective scorings are related to the letter A, scored with 20 points. When we move to the right of this slide, we see an average global customer perception score of 71%. So when we look at the global overview, we see the Americas at 68%, Europe at 68%, Africa at 73%, Asia at 72%, and Australia and Oceania at 66%. Also, don't forget to take into account and consideration the audit distribution when understanding this data. Let's now stay on the customer perception, but if you remember my first slide, you will see that for the customer perception, we also have to have 10 items assessed. I'm not going to now read out all the 10 items, but you see them here on the left-hand side of the screen and also in the performance assessment rules. And here the main thing I would like to highlight is that the vast majority of the 10 items in customer perception are scored at a defined level. So 71% concretely of the items over all of the audited companies in the last year have been assessed with defined for customer perception items, 18% with qualified, 3% as optimized, and the rest either not applicable, poor, or insufficient. So this is one interesting perspective to see when looking at this information. Last but not least, let's go into the third pillar of the IRIS certification revision 4 scoring scheme, and this is as announced already and explained previously to me. is the respective performance evaluation. So here we are clearly looking at the 5 key processes. So you have the project management, requirements for products and services, design and development, the EPPS, and the production and service provision. So what's interesting to note here, both project management, design and development, and EPPS and production have a vast majority of evaluations with B, 15 points, whereas requirements for products and services are more or less even between the letter A, 20 points scoring, and B with 15 points. So this is an interesting insight for you to understand and see where the industry is at in terms of the performance of the key processes. Now on the right hand side, when we look at the global average of the performance evaluation score, we see a global average of 81%. And below that, you will see also, depending on the 5 continents you look at, the overview of the scorings on that topic. So this is it for me today. I'm very glad to give you this detailed insight. Of course, I've explained this quite rapidly. The aim is just to show you this information, but of course, do not hesitate to contact us later if you have any further questions or would like to have any more information. Now, I am extremely delighted to introduce the next speaker today. Her name is Ayşegül from TÜV NORD, and she has a very interesting role as she has 2 hats, and she will give the 2 different perspectives today for you. Thank you very much. Ayşegül, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Anish. Hello to everyone. My name is Ayşegül Durmaz Gökçöl. I am representing TÜV NORD, and I am Irish auditor since 15 years. And 1 year passed quickly. It was not easy, especially the first quarter of the transition period, but I can say that we completed since now all transitions successfully. Next, please, Lina. Short words for TÜV NORD. TÜV NORD is a global company, head office is in Germany and presented in over 100 countries worldwide. And IRIS is a very important product under business certification unit under the transport scheme. Next, please, Alina. And the transition started with publications. First important one is performance assessment. I want to emphasize that second edition is including very important updates, and also very important document is company master data. It helps to companies how to update their master data in the IRIS portal, which is very important for the certification process and also for the certificate. Next, please, Alina. Yeah, communication was very essential and important part before and during the transition. IMC webinars conducted, accessible to all stakeholders for widespread communication. It's still ongoing. And IMC meeting with certification bodies conducted regular and extraordinary meetings. And the most important one is individual consultations with us to support for our special questions and also additional support. What TÜV NORD did as a communication, we individually contact with our clients, conducted webinars, web page updates, information emails, letters, and it's still ongoing. Don't hesitate to contact us for any question, any clarification. If we cannot answer your questions, IMC is always supporting us for additional supports. Next, please. Yeah, training programs conducted for qualification of auditors, veto checkers, and admin and sales personnel. Auditor qualification was face-to-face before transition start. I can proudly say that we all successfully completed our qualifications. Veto checker trainings was online, and administrative and sales personnel trainings was optional, but it was quite helpful to give qualification to these related office personnel. Next, please. Before it is started, according to performance assessment document, we updated all our internal processes, procedures, forms. All contracts are renewed with according to new revision with the client. Web page updated. Internal calibration meetings for IRIS auditors done internally. It's a mandatory for TÜV NORD to conduct internal calibration at least once a year, also including admin and sales personnel. Next, please. Yeah, a lot of preparation done before transition start. It's still ongoing because transition is still ongoing. Auditor capacity analysis was very important, considering timelines, very strict timelines, and audit durations, auditor product scopes. We adjusted our audit schedulings because some of the companies prefer to continue with IRIS revision 3 in the beginning of 2024. So we have to reschedule their audits, and also some of them choose to get transition according to revision 4, or if their certification frame allowed, they change to they stay on the revision 3. So data review, readiness review, and transition audits planning was adjusted according to auditor capacities. Next, please. Yes, ensuring accurate update for company master data. It was also essential part. I want to emphasize, please read the second edition of performance assessment, and especially for assessment type, simplified selection is clarified now, and project type categorization, the visual table is now easy understandable. And data package upload 60 days before is important. Next, please. I know I have limited time, Anish. So, performance assessment and web tool, new web tool. I just want to emphasize key improvements. So we have very nice web tool now, and also new performance assessment. It's a simplified booklet, easy to understand by all stakeholders. Audit day calculation is simplified, and product scopes recategorized, and none of the auditor lost any scope, but widen their scope, some of them, which gives us some flexibility for the audit schedulings. New web tool. We have a very nice dashboard, a different view for CBs, veto checkers, and auditors, and accessible from any device with internet access. So internet access is very important during the audit. Companies shall provide internet access to auditors. It is possible to access via any device, iPad, mobile phone, so quite flexible. No more report merging issue. It's very important. Internal thing, but it was very important for auditors. Now all auditors can work on the same report in the same time. Very user friendly. I will explain the challenges later, and this is very important that it's user friendly and improved functionality. Reduced redundant data entries. And also veto checks and portal uploads for the audit reports and certificates are streamlined and more efficient. It's very easy, very transparent, and it helps us to speed up the certification process. Next one. Yeah, challenges. Okay, market development is slower than expected, given the high expectations set by IRIS rules for auditors, qualification, audit management. I don't complain about high the expectations. It's an important product, real business, and we don't have any problem with this. But comparing with the market development is slower. I think we all stakeholders have to work together on to improve market development. So in certain areas in the world, the auditor capacity will be a problem because of the lack of a number of certificates, and there are some certain rules, auditor change, minimum number of audits, and lack of product scopes. And that's why I would like to emphasize again, market development is important. We shall all stakeholders work together to improve this valuable high-level standard. For the audit web tool, the new web tool introduced together with the revision 4. And some technical bugs happened. Auditors has lack of proficiency in the new web tool, although it's user-friendly, but there were some new functions. And past data was not there. It was empty. So one thing is very important. All other participants emphasize QPLs, quality performance levels. Auditors have a very important responsibility to give a fair and transparent scoring to customers. So we have a limited time to understand, evaluate, and give fair, right scores to clients, and their expectations are higher quality performance level. But on the other hand, as an auditor, we feel responsible to give these scores. So it was not easy for us. It was never easy, but also we feel we take this responsibility and try to. I'm talking about all auditors because. I'm also auditor. I'm doing audits, so it was not easy, especially with the empty tool questions, more than 300, a lot of things. So that's why proper preparation was very important and essential part. During the transition, we have to conduct back-to-back readiness review and a transition audit, which is not allowed anymore. Please read the second edition of performance evaluation, because I'm getting these questions from companies why we are not doing back-to-back. This is not allowed. This was a given opportunity to us during the transition to make the process easier. But this is not an easy way to do that for auditors and also for the fair evaluation. Next, please, Alina. So I can proudly say that all of TÜV NORD auditors completed their qualifications successfully. Also, we have new auditors, and 70% of our certified companies completed successfully their revision 4, and the rest of them 30% approximately. And simplified assessment, we have very less. I don't know, maybe in the future we will have more, but only 3 companies opted to switch from full to simplified. Maybe they are eligible for simplified, but some companies are already certified for full. They choose to stay in full certification. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, we are ready to answer.
Thank you very much, Ayşegül. And it's a very interesting insight that not only you have provided, but especially what you said from your perspective as an auditor and as a CB. I would just like to repeat. I just made some key words from what you said, and it's quite interesting. I think everyone shall please read the second edition of the rules. I think you've highlighted the importance. Preparation is very important for preparing accordingly the respective audits. What you said about the transition phase, that was quite important and a hard time. And we're very glad to be coming towards an end of that period. So good times to come. And one thing that you mentioned is quite interesting, and this will be said in the next webinars too. But we need to focus on the market development on IRIS certification. This is what Rachid said. And then last but not least, the simplified assessment. This is one thing that I personally kept out of my data. Why? Because we're going to have a dedicated session later, a dedicated webinar on the simplified, and then we'll do a deep dive then. But now the time is for all of you, hundreds of people that have signed up and listening over the last hour to us. Now the time is to ask all of your questions that you may have, and all of us in the table right now will try our very best to answer them. So the first question, I'm just refreshing the page. The first question is linked to the QPL. In fact, I have a few from the QPL. So let me just, Rachid, for you, let me read a few of them out. The first one is, are all backlog from 2024 being released? What is the impact for companies who bronze QPL is not updated in the portal in 2024 and they are eligible for silver in 25? And if QPL were implemented for comparison of companies and rules only refer to performance of the clients, how can then administrative issues lead to lower level? This could impact the market. Thank you.
Thank you, Anish, and thanks for raising all those questions to the one who are participating today to this webinar. Again, I have the impression, it's not an impression, but the QPL is still raising quite a lot of questions. We know, again, as I mentioned earlier, that this topic was, I would say, intensively discussed for the past few months. But to answer the question, again, let's make a very clear statement. So all the QPL that were pending 2024, for which we had a bit of delays, normally everything now has been closed and released. So you should have your QPL certificate if obviously you have, I would say, achieved all the prerequisite and the criteria. But for 2024, we don't have any further QPL to release. So this has been closed already a few weeks ago. In case you are still wondering, or if you have an issue with for your organization, obviously feel free to raise it to us, to your certification body representative, and we really take it very quickly, because again, everything from 2024 has been published. So this should be available now. What is the impact? At the end of the day, there is no much impact. So normally you will have your bronze certificate for 2024. Again, if you have issue, you can inform us and we'll take it very quickly. But you can definitely have your bronze QPL. And for the silver also, for this year, for 2025, it's pretty important to know that we, especially for the silver and the gold, we are also performing some checks, and this is also written in our rules. It's always the right column. Last column in the QPL section of the Performance Assessment Edition 2. So IMC, our experts are also doing a check of the audit reports, ensuring the consistency of the data that has been given during the audits, the evidences also. So we are really doing a deep dive. We are not re-auditing, just to make it clear. But we are checking all the evidence, information, and how the audit has been managed, and all if the performance of the company and organization is really meeting all the criteria. And then if everything is fine and reaching all those thresholds, then we are releasing the silver QPL. So once again, we know that there are still a lot of questions about the QPL. We really hope that the QPL specification, who is going to be released very soon now to your certification body, will again help to clarify the situation. And in case, again, you have any problem with your QPL, whatever it is, whatever level it is, feel free to contact us. But once again, normally everything from 2024 has been closed.
Great questions and great response, Rachid. Thank you. I have some questions that I'm just seeing. I'm trying to consolidate them about the survey. So I think I will just take these. So the first one is, seems like there's a questionnaire released. Could you share the link to answer the questionnaire? The second is, no one from our organization did a survey. To whom has the survey been sent? Okay, so I consolidate the topic in one shot answer quite clearly. It is the administrator of the site at the Iris portal account that will receive the link to fulfill the survey. So again, if that person has not received the survey, then please let us know and we will gladly and rapidly allow you to fulfill that survey. Okay, so I will repeat, it's the main person's account, it's the admin account of the site that is getting audited, and you only receive the survey once you have a completed successful audit, including the closure of cars. So maybe this is already answering some of your questions on why you have not received it. So please ensure that your cars are closed and the success of the audit and the upload has been done by your certification body until you receive the survey. I have one or two questions again for Rachid for the guidelines. It says, hello, when will the IQB guidelines be updated for revision 4? Thank you.
All right, so this could have been a question for Stefan, but I will take it. As I say, I'm pretty well involved on the IRQB working group. So as I mentioned, we have for the moment 6 different working groups working on the different guidelines. So as of today, for all of them for which I'm involved, and also the rest of my colleagues here are involved, the progress is quite good. And I think that we are aiming to make those guidelines updated and released by end of June, so around end of Q2. So that's the current target. I mentioned earlier the list of guidelines being currently updated. Of course, if there are other guidelines, because we have others, we work currently with a priority level. So that's why we did those ones first. But in case you want us also to work and update on some other guideline, you can also reach out to us or the IRQB point of contact to inform your wishes to get the IRQB guidelines updated. We know that it's quite well used by the industry and the railway stakeholders. So don't hesitate. After end of June, if you see that there is no changes or updates on the ones that you want, feel free to contact us. You have our details, and just let us know which one you want us to work on it, because we'll work also with priority levels.
So I will give, thank you very much, Rachid. I will give one last opportunity to send some more questions. Please use the QR code on the bottom right-hand side. You have a certification body here, an auditor here, the Irish general manager, and more. So if you have the further information to be asked, don't hesitate. So I will wait a few more seconds and I will answer a few more questions in the meantime. In fact, we will not send the slides, but what we do is we upload this complete webinar onto our IRIS certification YouTube. So what we will do at the end of this webinar, sometime this afternoon today, we will send everyone that has registered, the 700 people that registered for this event will receive the video link and the video link towards the video, so you can see all the slides and have all the respective information. So I will refresh this one last time. Okay, there are no more new questions. So I see some technical questions, and I will, as these are very specific questions, we will take these points and disseminate this within the IRIS Management Center, and we will tackle this and we will let you know directly on the progress on that. I will give the floor then to Stefan if he wants to say some final words of encouragement or global words. The floor is yours, Stefan.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anish. So finally, thank you very much for the preparation to all of you who participated in this great webinar. And yeah, for IRIS, its anniversary is not only for looking back, it's also looking for the future. I think we have now a very great basis with a renovated IT backbone, which, as said, had some hiccups in the past, but hopefully now everything is settled and aligned for the future, and with a way on continuous improvement going forward for the best Iris ever. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stefan. And just before giving the floor to Rachid, in between, so you can do it in the meantime, I invite you on the left-hand side to scan the QR code and join our fabulous LinkedIn. Don't hesitate to like, share, comment, and repost. And on the right-hand side, you can already register yourselves for the next webinar that will take place on the 23rd of May at 11 o'clock CEST. That will be on two topics at the moment. QPL, as you saw, there were a lot of questions regarding that. We will do a deep dive into the QPL, the quality performance levels, and we will talk about other elements as well. So then I would like to give the floor to Rachid.
Thank you, Anish, and once again, thank you for all of you, who was attended today for this very important webinar. It was a good way to celebrate with you, and also, as just said by Stefan, we are also looking at the future. We really want also to make the IRIS scheme stronger and stronger and used by all the railway stakeholders. So once again, thank you. Don't forget that we are also available for any kind of questions or technical problems. We are here to support you and again make this scheme also very well known, promoted, recognized, and used by all the railway industry. So once again, thank you and have a very excellent day and a weekend ahead.
Thank you so much.